Hey everybody, welcome to our channel Living in Richmond, Virginia, where we show you exactly what it's like to live, work, eat, and play right here in RVA. So many of our videos focus on the western suburbs around Richmond, and lately we've been spending some more time in Mechanicsville, so we decided to give that area some love. A few months ago, Sarah and I closed on our first rental property, which is actually located in the Battlefield Green subdivision in Mechanicsville, so we have literally put our money where our mouth is and invested in that area. What you will learn and get to see in this video today is all about the parts of Mechanicsville on the northern side of 295. I'll give you the pros and cons to the area, I'll show you the 3 nearby commercial bubbles as I call them, and I'll take you through 6 of our favorite neighborhoods and give you a ton of information on them. We have said in some of our previous videos that Mechanicsville rarely ranks first in any one category, and that's true. But it does get at least a podium finish plenty of the time. And after watching this video, you can decide if the value proposition and balance of pros and cons makes sense for you. If this is your first time to our channel, welcome. I'm Taylor Jefferson. My wife Sarah and I own and operate Jefferson Grove Real Estate. We are your Richmond relocation experts, and no exaggeration, we've helped hundreds of families relocate to Richmond from all over the world. You should definitely check out our Google reviews and see what our clients are saying about us. And if you're thinking about moving to the Richmond area, here are 3 things that you need to do. The first is to download our free Richmond relocation guide. It's full of useful information all about Richmond and the surrounding areas. The second thing to do is to visit our YouTube homepage and look at our playlist that says Start Here, and at a minimum give those first 2 videos a watch. After doing so, you'll have a much better idea of where you might want to live and where you'll find homes matching your search criteria. The third thing to do is to explore our other playlists with videos that focus on the areas that you identified as potentially good fits from the second step. Or you can just give us a call and we will very quickly help you hone in on what will be the areas of best fit for you. Now, with all that said, let's get into today's video. So, let's first start with where I'll be discussing today. In this video, I'm going to focus on the suburbs located within Mechanicsville on the north side of 295. If you look at Google Maps, I'm talking about these lighter areas on the map to the east of 95 from the 12 o'clock to about the 2 o'clock position. As you head further out from 295 into that green part of the map, that's where it gets more rural and where you'll find homes sitting on acreage. But again, today's focus will be on the suburbs. So let's start with the biggest pro and why you may want to consider Mechanicsville in your search. And that reason is because it provides cheaper real estate options. Compared to Short Pump, Glen Allen, Northern Midlothian, and Southern Midlothian, Mechanicsville has the lowest average price per square foot and the lowest average sales price for homes. Looking strictly at resale homes and not new construction, over the past year, in the highlighted area there were a total of 483 single-family homes sold. The average sales price was only $452,000, and in return that would get you almost 2,300 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. The range in pricing was from $180,000 to $800,000, and there were only 11 sales out of the 483 that were priced in the 700s. So if your budget is 700 or below, or even 600 and below, you'll have a good amount of homes to pick from in Mechanicsville. In this regard, Mechanicsville is very similar to the Southern Midlothian area's real estate offerings, with a very similar average price per square foot, and one of the reasons you may buy in Mechanicsville over Southern Midlothian would be based on the location. If you have to travel north of the river to where you work, living in Mechanicsville will help you avoid all of the traffic northbound on 288 in the mornings, and Mechanicsville will give you better proximity to both the city of Richmond or Short Pump and Glen Allen. Additionally, this area has everything you need for daily living located within it, as well as safe and family-friendly neighborhoods with HOA-provided amenities that feed into good schools. A little bit later in the video, I'll get into the commercial areas as well as some of our favorite neighborhoods, but first I'm going to get into the cons. So I would say really that the con to living in Mechanicsville is predominantly related to the commercial bubbles within the area. As it relates to some of the other suburban areas around Richmond, the Mechanicsville commercial bubbles aren't as exciting and they aren't as dense with commercial amenities. Instead of having one main commercial hub like Midlothian Turnpike in Northern Midlothian, or Hull Street Road in Southern Midlothian, or Broad Street and Short Pump, Mechanicsville's commercial areas are split between 3 different spots, and none of them are as large as the examples that I just said. Now, between all 3, they will have everything you need for daily living, but perhaps not everything you want, which is how I always describe the Southern Midlothian commercial bubble. But the difference there being Hull Street Road in Southern Midlothian is very dense, whereas Mechanicsville's commercial areas are more scattered. Please keep in mind there is a lot of relativity at play, and I am comparing Mechanicsville to more expensive areas, so there has to be some give and take. As mentioned, the most similar real estate can be found in the Southern Midlothian area, and if you're cross-shopping but would prefer to be north of the river for your commute, I would highly recommend entertaining Mechanicsville as an option. So before getting into the neighborhoods, let me quickly take you through these 3 commercial spots. Let's start with the commercial bubble located along Mechanicsville Turnpike. Just to the northeast of the intersection at 295 and Mechanicsville Turnpike, there's a Walmart to the north, and to the south there's a Kohl's, Hobby Lobby, Target, BJ's Wholesale Club, a Home Depot, a PetSmart, and more. Then, traveling east along Midlothian Turnpike, there's a bunch of casual dining and fast food restaurants, plus a Food Lion shopping center, a Publix grocery store shopping center, and just a little bit further down, there's also a Lowe's. And that is pretty much it for right here. The next commercial spot is located further north along Chamberlain Road. Over there is an absolutely huge Kroger Marketplace shopping center with a ton of stores surrounding it, plus the Atlee Station YMCA. A little further northeast, there's a Food Lion grocery store shopping center, and there are a couple of fast food restaurants and casual dining options, plus a few gas stations. And then again, that's pretty much it. So the third of the commercial bubbles is located along Route 1, and technically belongs to the eastern Glen Allen area, but I'm including it in the Mechanicsville video because depending on where you live in Mechanicsville, this commercial bubble may actually be closer to you than the Mechanicsville Turnpike area. So, located along Route 1, which is Brook Road, you can find the Virginia Center Marketplace with Publix grocery store, a Target, and some other things. To the south, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods, a Best Buy, Home Goods, PetSmart, and more. Across the street, there used to be the Virginia Center Commons Mall, but that is being redeveloped into a sportsplex. But all around where the mall used to be, there are additional retail spots too. If you were to combine all 3 into one large commercial hub, that would come closer to rivaling Midlothian or Short Pump, but they aren't. And since they are spread further apart from each other, it can create scenarios where you have to drive further to get to the things you need. In return for that, though, you can find cheaper homes here. So now that you know about the area at large and its pros and cons, let's get into the neighborhoods, starting with one of our favorites, and that is Kings Charter. Kings Charter is located to the northern tip of the Mechanicsville suburban area, and it is a very large neighborhood. Over the past year, there were a total of 30 home sales within the neighborhood, ranging in size from just under 1,800 square feet to over 4,200. Prices range from $415,000 to $685,000, which is a relatively low ceiling on pricing, especially for the size of home that you get. The average sold price was $518,000, and in return you can expect to get a 2,600 square foot home with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. What we love about Kings Charter so much is the neighborhood feel. It is heavily wooded neighborhood with lots and lots of mature landscaping. Plus, the HOA provides 2 pools, tennis courts, a playground, pickleball courts, and basketball courts. When the weather's nice, I always see people out for a stroll. Now, something to be aware of, and the reason I couldn't get any drone footage from within the neighborhood, is that there's a small airport nearby, so you will hear small single-engine planes overhead somewhat frequently. And 2 other cons related to the neighborhood you're built is that you have to watch out for hardboard siding and polybutylene piping, which many of the homes within the neighborhood have. Otherwise, this one's a slam dunk. Just north of Kings Charter are the neighborhoods of Milestone and Ash Creek, both of which we absolutely love. So starting in Milestone, there were only 15 sales over the past year, but that makes sense because it's a much smaller neighborhood compared to Kings Charter. Home sizes range from 2,100 square feet to just over 5,000, with prices from the low 500s and capping out at 700,000. The average sold price was $626,000, and in return you'd get a 3,200 square foot, 5-bed, 2.5 bath home. The homes are newer here than in Kings Charter, so you'll find a lot of transitional style floor plans, and you will also avoid any polybutylene piping and hardboard siding issues. I have been through a bunch of homes within the neighborhood, and the houses are great. Plus, there's an HOA that provides a pool, clubhouse, playground, tennis courts, and soccer field for a very reasonable $265 per quarter. In the middle of the neighborhood, some of the homes' backyards are located within a flood zone, so be sure to check the flood map when looking at houses here. Otherwise, this neighborhood is great. And just as an FYI, if you ever want more information about any of these neighborhoods, just reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Very similar to Milestone is the adjacent Ash Creek neighborhood. Same thing here, check the flood zone map for homes located on the western edge, and on the eastern edge of the neighborhood there are train tracks, so ideally try to land somewhere closer to the center to avoid either of those issues. Ash Creek is from the mid-90s to early 2000s and it's a very pretty community. The average home price was $566,000 and has the second lowest price per square foot of this video, sitting at $197 per square foot. Sizes range from 1,866 square feet to just under 5,000, and the prices are from the lower 400s to just over $700,000. On average, you can expect to find a home with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and around 3,000 square feet. The HOA amenities aren't the best or the nicest, but at least they exist, and there is a community pool, clubhouse, tennis court, and basketball court. So now we'll head to the neighborhood that delivers the most bang for your buck with the lowest price per square foot in the video, sitting at $166, and that is the Bluffs at Bell Creek. This is an early 2000 to mid 2010s neighborhood, and having been through a good amount of houses here, I can say they're usually really nice. This neighborhood is located at the intersection of Bell Creek Road and Verde Road and is right in between the two commercial bubbles of Chamberlain Road and Mechanicsville Turnpike. Plus, there's a Food Lion shopping center just outside of the neighborhood with some casual dining spots flanking it. I think the value proposition for the neighborhood is pretty high, given how far your dollar goes. The price range here is from the mid 400s to the low 600s, and the average sale sits at $537,000 for a 5-bedroom home with 3.5 bathrooms and a little over 3,300 square feet. The HOA provides a community pool, clubhouse, and tennis courts, and offers both detached single-family homes, townhomes, and quad-style 55-plus section within it. So there's something for everyone. The con, I would say, is that the yard sizes are smaller, and it's pretty clear-cut and very rare to get any type of privacy in the backyard. But if you can look past this, you'll get a smoking deal on a home. I know it's been a long video and I feel like I've been talking forever, so I'm going to try to be fast on these last two neighborhoods, and they are polar opposites from each other. Up next is Giles Farm, which is a newer construction neighborhood offering homes built from 2019 to 2024. Given how recently these were built, there weren't a lot of sales last year, but of the homes that did sell, the prices range from $542,000 to the high 700s. If you're looking for newer construction, this is a great neighborhood to consider, and I really like the HOA provided amenities that include walking trails, a viewing pond, and of course a very nice and new clubhouse and pool. That said, if you are shopping within Giles Farm, I would recommend to try to avoid the homes built by Ryan Homes and try to purchase one that was built by H.H. Hunt instead. The average home here was a 4-bedroom, 3 full bathroom home with a little over 3,200 square feet. And given how recently it was built, you can expect to find a nice open concept layout, which many buyers prefer compared to the older style floor plans. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is a neighborhood that our rental's located within, and that is Battlefield Green. Battlefield Green is an excellent starter home neighborhood with very affordable prices. Over the past year, the prices range from $250,000 up to $485,000, and most of the sales sit closer to the average sold price of $358,000. Given what the average price is, don't expect a mansion. But we love the affordability and the fact that this is a starter neighborhood that has a community pool and playground with a very reasonable HOA fee. Now, I will say that there are two cons to this community. The first being that some parts of it do feel like a starter home neighborhood, but it is what it is. And the second one being, given the year built range, there are some homes that have polybutylene piping. If your budget is on the lower end, this is a great neighborhood to buy within. Or if you're wanting to buy a rental, this is an excellent option. Ask us how we know. All right, that was another long video, and I hope you found it informative and helpful. I'm sorry it's been so long since we posted a video. We are doing our best to keep up, but Sarah and I have been absolutely swamped these past few months. Over the past 4 weeks alone, we've gotten 12 homes under contract, and we are still working with multiple active relocation buyer clients and helping a few sellers get their homes market ready right now. We might not post as often as we used to, but that's because we're still out there doing our thing and absolutely killing it for our clients. If you're thinking about relocating to the Richmond area, and especially either the suburbs or some of the rural areas outside of the suburbs, be sure to give us a call. We have the knowledge and expertise to help make your move as stress-free and easy as possible. Thanks for being here with me today, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye.